With more than 47,000 active coronavirus cases right now, KwaZulu-Natal is definitely leaving its mark. So what's being done to stem the tide? Lethiwe Mdluli is trying to find some answers for us in Durban. Let's cross to her now. Lethiwe, let's start with the basics of people trying not to contract the virus. Do you think there's a lot of masks and sanitizing compliance in the province right now?
Well, certainly we have seen people trying to do their best to avoid contracting COVID-19, but what I can say is that KZN currently is in its third wave, and basically what the Premier did say over the weekend is that they have seen some businesses lacking in providing their customers with basics such as following COVID-19 protocols in the province. But at the moment I'm at the King Dinizulu Zulu hospital at its vaccination site, and I've been told that it's one of the biggest vaccination sites that we have in the eThekwini region. I'm just going to ask my colleague to show you exactly how many people are at the site currently this morning. This is one of the biggest vaccination sites we have in the province. We have had a problem in the province with people or the numbers of people coming to vaccinate dropping, and the health department is trying to work around convincing people to come get vaccinated and also for people to register. At the moment, we know that those who are 35 and older can get registered, and from the 1st of September, those who are 18 and above can go and get registered, and they will be eligible to get their vaccination. But at the moment, I'm joined by the HOD for the health department in the province, Dr. Sandile Shabalala. Good morning. Firstly, I just want to ask you about the surge in numbers in the province. What exactly do you think is contributing to the surge?
May I first greet yourself, greet the people watching your program. We do appreciate that among other contributing factors may be the events that took place at the end or just the latter half of July and August. But also we've been preaching through our MEC, through our Premier and all our MECs in the province against the issue of not wearing masks and sanitizing. But we've seen that in some instances, once the levels go down and people are free to do things, you realize that the issue of social distancing, the issue of wearing masks, even at work, does not get to be done. So we think all these contribute to the surging numbers. But we've also seen some clusters in different schools, and some of the areas, for instance, some of the prisons had their numbers going up. So we think where people conglomerate in big numbers, all those have contributed. At some stage, we thought the events that took place around Nkandla and all the other districts of our province related to the Nkandla events were going to contribute a lot. We've seen, yes, numbers going up, but we cannot definitely say that was the event. You will remember there were other events that also happened in Swaziland, and also us being at the border with Swaziland, that may have contributed as well. However, the contribution, if you look at the whole province and look at the incidence risk per 100,000 in the whole province, you can see that it's risky, the whole province. You can't say, you can't pick certain districts.
Now, Dr. Shabalala, when it comes to vaccinating, are we seeing a drop in numbers of people coming to get their vaccine and also the registration process?
We definitely have seen a drop in the number of people who come for vaccination. The worry is, why is that? What we can extrapolate is to say, one, the issue of fake news has come to bite us very hard. Among the fake news is the fact that when you have been vaccinated, you are going to die in 2 years. I do not know where that comes from. Among the fake news that you are going to be sick, there are other complications that are mooted by people that are associated with vaccinating. But also the choice of whether the Pfizer or the Johnson & Johnson has made people think this is a better one, this is not a better one. So those instances where we were having either no Pfizer, you'll remember in April, there is a week where we stopped using Johnson & Johnson because of what we had in America. And when we restarted, the numbers were not as high. Also, the protests themselves, during the time of the protests, the numbers were lower. We seem to be picking up, but very, very slowly. We now are hoping that with us starting to now vaccinate the 35-year-olds, and at the 1st of September, the 18-year-olds and above, numbers are going to go up as well. But we still, through the MEC's office and other OSS structures, still go out to encourage people to come vaccinate, but also to go and check whether they are positive or not. One of the things that our MEC has said is that as soon as you have symptoms that are flu symptoms, regard yourself as being COVID positive and then go and check. If you're negative, it's good, but if you're positive, we still have our beds available. We have prepared ourselves.
Now, as the health department, you've been trying by all means to get people to adhere to COVID-19 protocols, but would you say that the policing around those protocols have relaxed since the second wave as we headed to the third wave?
What I can say is that the government generally is doing everything possible, from the premier down. Also, you can see the police stopping people and asking about masks and all that. But the question that we should be asking is the community coming to the party? Because at the end of the day, it's not about us being policed. It's about all of us taking the responsibility. At the end of the day, when I get infected, I'm going to infect people around me. I'm not going to infect the government. So it's about us starting to take that responsibility. That's the first part. The government is doing everything possible. On the media, on a daily basis, you will hear our MEC speaking to people about vaccination, about COVID-19, about everything else, including other illnesses, by the way. The Premier also is at pains trying to urge people to vaccinate, at pains also trying to urge people to test for COVID-19. We also are urging people to really present themselves to be admitted if they are COVID positive, because we have seen some deaths going up, and the reason, among others, is that people sit at home. Only when they are bad do they then present themselves. So we're trying to avoid all those with all the activities we're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that is the HOD for the health department in the province, just basically elaborating on some of the work that they are doing to convince people to come get vaccinated and also to register so that they can get their vaccine. He is sharing that they are experiencing a drop in numbers of people coming to get vaccinated in the province, but they are hoping that by the 1st of September, when the people who are 18 years and over are eligible to get vaccinated or register to get vaccinated, they will see an increase in numbers.
Lethiwe Mdluli is in Durban keeping a watch on the third wave of coronavirus infections in that province. Sad to see that even though the province is in the grips of the third wave, there's an empty vaccination center there. She'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully those steps that the health MEC mentioned will bear fruit.